Okay, we are going to get started. My name is Jennifer Winder. I am a founding Ruby ambassador with Wakaya Perfection. And today, the purpose of this video or this class is to show you how our foundational core products help and aid with a ketogenic diet. So the first part of this class, and it'll be less than 30 minutes, I'm going to talk real fast. But the first part of this class will just be telling you about some of our core products in our system and why we've all been having so much success with the BulaFIT system, which supports a ketogenic diet versus just doing keto without this system. So I am going to hopefully explain that to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me as we're going. So I'm going to actually skip through a few of the things on here, if I can figure out how to use my watch these videos. So I'm going to just move forward. The first thing I need to do is just give you a disclosure. I am not a doctor. I don't treat disease. I don't diagnose disease. I will be talking to you about some symptoms of diseases. You will be very familiar with them and know what they are. But because I don't have my doctor license and I'm not that, I will not be talking about diseases specific. In fact, I would say, if you have any questions in regards that are medical, talk to your doctor about it. Okay, so a little bit about me. I came to Wakaya Perfection, gosh, it's almost been 3 years, right before they launched and kicked off. I had never heard of keto, and that wasn't a word I was familiar with. But what brought me to the company was actually their turmeric and ginger and the results that we had. And I had had turmeric from several stores and not noticed any results. I knew it was a great anti-inflammatory, and I had a husband who was using all sorts of over-the-counter pain relievers constantly for headaches, and I just didn't like it. And so my friend Carolyn introduced me to the turmeric, and we had results right off the bat, and we were kind of sold on it. And so in that journey, keto and this BulaFIT system was introduced, and I thought it sounded absolutely nuts to eat fat to lose fat. And so I really dove into studying before I started the program, and I made sure I understood. And one of the purposes of this class is honestly so that you cannot make the same mistakes I made, because we were all very new when we were starting, and we kind of set ourselves up for not as much success as we could have had we known a few things. So that is one of the purposes of this class. But in my keto journey, up until this point, I've lost about 60 pounds of fat. This is my friend Carolyn who introduced me to the company. So that was, the picture on the left is me the Saturday before I started BulaFIT on Monday. And the picture on the right is about a year and a half later. What I love about that picture is that it's the first time I've lost weight and turned it into a lifestyle versus a diet. Normally I would have already gained it back and probably been on my third or fourth diet by now. And now I'm about 2.5 years into the BulaFIT system, and I'm a lifer. That's not going to change. So this is me kind of on my journey, and I put this up here. So the last two pictures, we do these challenges. You may see me talk about them, but the last two pictures, you know, there's a pretty big difference, only like 1.5 pounds in weight, but I lost still inches just adding that fitness in. My weight, the bulk of my weight was not lost exercising. I actually had a hurt knee, and I could not exercise the first 4 months that I moved over to the BulaFIT system. And so my weight, the bulk of it came off just by changing what I was eating. And just recently I've started incorporating fitness and am seeing positive changes that way too. So this is my family. There's a daughter-in-law and a son-in-law in here also. But we just clicked this picture in our backyard right before my oldest son, that one in the plaid shirt, left for basic training. And that's my son-in-law on the far left, and my daughter-in-law is standing in the back row. So, but these are my 6 children, and they're the reason why I started my health journey. One, I wanted to be around for them. I just see sickness and disease all around me, and I really just dove into healing through what we put into our body, and just feeling better. And my children and my husband, we've all benefited from this. And I can tell you one benefit my husband had. He was told he would be on cholesterol medication the rest of his life, that it was genetic. About 6 weeks into our keto changes, he went off of his medicine, and he is in the lowest range of normal for cholesterol. So that was a huge thing for us. So we don't have a lot of weight to lose. There's still a little bit hanging around, nothing I'm worried about, but we will be keto for life and use the BulaFIT system for life because of the preventative measures and because of how we feel. So that's why we keep doing it, and that's why it's not a diet for us, and it is a lifestyle. So David Gilmour is the founder of Wakaya Perfection, and I like to let people know that because he's an amazing guy. I've actually had the opportunity to speak to him a couple different times, but you will know him as the founder of Fiji Water. He's one of those guys, I tell people, it just seems like everything he touches turns to gold. He has high quality products. You know, Fiji Water is, in my opinion, the best bottled water on the market. It's not the cheapest. So quality is more his focus and giving you the best price for what you're getting. When he just to give you a little history on Wakaya Perfection, he was at a conference back in the, I want to say it was in the 90s, and he was asked what the greatest luxury in life is, and all these people were answering differently. And when it got to him, he said it's your health, because if you think about yourself, if you don't have good health, you can't even enjoy what you have. And so he felt like a hypocrite and decided he was going to do something about that. Well, here's some of our greatest challenges, right? Any conversation I have with anybody in that first section, yeah, people are not feeling good. They're run down, they're overweight, they're uncomfortable. I mean, I could add a million things to that list. So this is where it begins. And these are the two products I had already mentioned. Our ginger and turmeric are the core. We call it the GT core. They're the foundation of what we're doing. So long before I started BulaFIT, I was taking ginger and turmeric, 2 capsules each a day. And these, the turmeric, I'm going to get into the different benefits of each of them, but they've really changed our life. Everybody in my family uses them. These ones are great. They're hand cultivated on an island called Wakaya that's in Fiji. And so that's where the word Wakaya Perfection comes from. The island is certified organic. There's no machinery on it. There's no pesticides, herbicides. There's these little bungalows that like movie stars go stay in. There's the people that live there that cultivate the land, and there's a little school there for their kids. And so it's not hugely populated, but it is a pretty amazing place. So some of the different features of these products. So the ginger is really great for digestion. And you can see some of these things that are listed here. Awesome antioxidants. Big one for us, if anybody ever has an upset stomach, the very first thing they do is they take a few ginger capsules, because I swear to you, I've put it to practice a few times and almost instantly my nausea goes away. And so we really, really like that. It's great for helping with metabolism, exfoliating. Look at all these things. I use it to cook with. You see on the left there of those 3, that's our culinary ginger. It's the exact same thing as in the capsules, except it's free, so you can just scoop it out with your measuring spoon. This ginger in particular, our pink Fijian ginger, the seeds never leave the island. It's not grown anywhere else. Both of these spices are dried at a temperature where it's not ruined. They're grown in this volcanic soil that has all the nutrients you can imagine. And you know, that's one of the things that we're missing here in our soil, because we grow in it and grow in it and grow in it, and it becomes lacking in nutrients. So your food is only as healthy as where it's grown. So this ginger has 3 times more gingerols, which is the active ingredient, than anything in the market. Our turmeric is awesome. This is where we really notice the difference. So what we noticed for my husband with the anti-inflammatory aspect of it is his headaches were going away. These headaches that he would get every day were just disappearing. So you can look up here and see detoxifying the blood and the liver, helps boost metabolism, reduces inflammation is a really big one. What's great about this turmeric is it's 5 times stronger than anything you can find on the market. It has 5 times the amount of curcumin. And anytime I see a new turmeric on the market, I always look at it to see where it's at. And I have never found anything as strong as this. But the most important thing to remember is the results that you get. So I always tell people to put these to the test. When I started taking these, I actually didn't have a specific reason. I was doing it more as a preventative measure. But what we found is when I go a couple days without them, I will start getting a little bit of lower back pain. That it was pain that I had before but had just gotten used to, but now I don't have it. And I just like how I feel better when I take them. So my whole family uses these. They have access to them. They are better taken together. Turmeric is activated by the pepper family and ginger's from the pepper family. So with both of them, you get the best of both worlds. That's a daily regimen for me. I don't have a specific ache and pain, but I take 2 of each a day. I have people who come in and they have specific issues they're dealing with, and they take more. I had one person who was taking 8 of each a day and then started tapering back as the problem got better. But 2 a day is the recommended dose there. Okay, now up here in this picture on the left, this is a new product that we just released. It's called EFA Red, and it's got all the awesome fatty acids in it. So it's great for your omega-3s. Hyaluronic acid is awesome for your skin. I have some I put on the outside, and now I'm taking these. I'm getting on the inside, the selenium oil. I'm going to say astaxanthin, which is a great anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. So these are our new ones. Then over on the right is our GT Fusion. So that's actually 2 different canisters stacked on top of each other. One of them is for detox. It's coconut flavored. It's called Daily Detox. The other one is called Sport and Go. That is what my kids and I use. I mean, we use these religiously, but my kids love the Sport and Go for sports. And I, as a mom, love that they're not getting the dyes and the sugars. It's got 1 net carb in it. So if you're doing keto, you can drink it. It helps with energy. The flavor is amazing. I make gummy bears out of it. I do all sorts of things. But they both have ingredients in them that help with different organs also. So with the clay detox, you are pulling toxins out of your digestive system. You also have things in there that will help your liver function. With the Sport and Go, it's really great for thyroid support. So I use them both. And up on the left, you see the EFA Reds, all those on the leaf there. That is 2 EFA Reds, 2 ginger, 2 turmeric, and 2 of our multi-essentials, which are all the essential nutrients that your body needs. And so they all come in these little individual packets, and that's what that is down on the right, the GT Core Essentials. So that's 30 packets in there, which is enough for a month, and it's awesome because you can just grab one and have all of that ready to go in one boom. So we call that our GT Core, and we tell everybody that's the base. No matter what you decide you want to do, everybody should be doing their GT Core, those little packets, every single day. And starting with that, and I would say in the Sport and Go and the Daily Detox on top of it. And then from there, we can branch off into different things. So if you want to lose weight, great, we're going towards BulaFIT for you. If you want skincare, we're going towards Tolay for you. If you want essential oils, but everybody needs to do the GT Core. And the one that's not up here is our new CBD line. We have a whole new CBD line, and I swear by that too. What I will tell you, and I have several people who will agree with this statement, when we started the BulaFIT system, we had already been using the turmeric and the ginger and the calcium bentonite clay for months. So our digestion was really in track and going. Our results for BulaFIT with weight loss were so astounding that we were worried we were going to get shut down. And it's because our digestion was in check. So when people are starting keto, they have all different, some people are like, whoa, I lost this much weight in 1 week. And some people it takes longer. A lot of that has to do where your digestion is. So yes, you can do keto without these products. yes, I believe your results will be quicker for most people if their digestion's in check, and these products help you get there. So that's a personal opinion. I'm going to help you with keto regardless of if you use them or not, but it's been my experience that these products really, really help. Okay, so now we're going to get into our keto part of this. So we have the secret to fat loss is what we tell everybody. And we have ways to make it easier. And I think my favorite thing about keto is the no deprivation. I feel like I can eat things I was never able to eat on any of the other crazy diets that I did, but that and I lose weight doing it and I feel great. So here's what we're going to talk about. Dr. Len Dell is a doctor that works for Wakaya. He represents them. He does keto. He has for several years. He did keto before keto was cool. He swears by it. He thinks that it can heal a lot of things. And he's actually local here in Utah. And so he takes patients online. If you're local, you can go in and see him. But he's great, and he does all sorts of classes for us. So we learn lots from him. And then Owen and Christy are fitness experts, and they're great also. If you are not a part of our BulaFIT, our Wakaya BulaFIT page, let whoever sent you this video know so that they can add you, because they go on there and help with all sorts of fitness questions and BulaFIT questions. So they are great. They've helped me a bunch. I highly recommend being a part of that community. Okay, and then these are just some of my friends that have lost weight. In the beginning, they've actually lost more than this now, and been able to keep it off. And it's so fun. I get to see them a couple times a year, but their success has been great. And I love Glinda's on the bottom when she says one decision can change your life. It's really about making that one decision and deciding to stick with it and just go for it and not looking back. Okay, so some things that keto and the BulaFIT system support. Blood sugar levels. When I started keto, my blood sugar was sitting at about 200. I was what they called pre-diabetic, but really was basically diabetic. I can use that because I'm talking about myself. I told you about my husband's cholesterol. So great. People will notice joint relief almost immediately when they start getting the foods that cause inflammation out of their body. And one thing I will tell you, my skin, I've suffered from eczema my entire life, to the point where it was debilitating for me. Like if I got out of the pool and didn't put Vaseline all over my face, I couldn't open my mouth without my cheeks bleeding. And as I got older, it wasn't as bad, probably because I started eating a little bit better. But I still always had it on my hands and little patches on my neck. Well, after I started keto, I will never forget, one day I looked down and it was just gone. No more rashes. So it was clear to me that there was inflammation in my body and something was causing that. We're going to skip this video because I'm just going to tell you about it. So what is ketosis? Ketosis is simply teaching your body to burn fat for fuel. So right now, if you're not doing keto, you are burning glucose, right? Insulin comes out, it turns into glucose, and you're burning that. Your body, unless you're type 1 and not diabetic, and that's a whole different thing, and you have to talk to a doctor about that, but your body is not set up to produce ketones and release insulin at the same time. Like, you just don't burn both fuel sources. So the way we do that, and we teach our body to do that, is by eating. So at different meal times, we're going to be eating predominantly fat, moderate amounts of protein, and lesser carbs. And when I say carbs, it's net carbs. So I'm trying to stay under 20 net carbs a day, which sometimes is closer to like 50 full carbs. The way we get our net carbs is by deducting the fiber or the sugar alcohol. There's certain sweeteners that we use, and so we deduct those sugar alcohols. And because fiber and sugar alcohol both do not have an impact on insulin, so we can deduct those to get our net carbs. A lot of people get confused and they think that keto is a high protein diet. It is not. It is a lower protein diet and a higher fat. And when we talk about fat, we're talking about healthy fats. So avocados, coconut oil, nuts, animal fats, butters, natural fats, not man-made fats, not margarines and shortenings and just all those bad oils are out there. We're talking about natural ones that our body recognizes and is already set up to burn. Okay, and that fat turns into ketones. Now, here's one of the products that I would highly recommend for anybody that is wanting to make it a little easier. So this keto fuel shake, there are a lot of shakes on the market that are called keto shakes. This one, first, is not ketones. There's a lot of drinks out there that are ketones. We actually even have one that you can drink and it helps you with your ketone numbers. This is a full meal replacement. So what that means is that when you drink this shake and you replace a meal with it, you're getting already, just by adding water to it, 75% fat, 20% protein, and 5% net carb. So it makes for a real easy meal, especially when you're on the run, when you're trying to go. We took them on our cruise last week. And it's really, really great. It tastes good. It's not like this gross chalky shake. Because if you go get a protein drink, even if it's keto approved ingredients, say it has 30 grams of protein, you better be getting as a minimum 60 grams of fat in at the same time, or you're going to knock yourself right out of ketosis. Well, you very well could. Maybe not everybody, but most people. It definitely would for me. So what I like about the shake, for about a year and a half, I drank it for my lunch meal because that was the meal I don't really have to worry about people, right? The kids are off at school, everybody's gone, it's just easy for me to grab. But what I love to do with it is bake. I have a lot more recipes than this, but here's some recipes, and I just basically use it like there's no flours in these. They just use the keto fuel basically as the flour in these recipes, and I love them. Okay, burn capsules are another product that is really phenomenal. These help you get into ketosis a little bit easier. You don't have those sugar up and downs. They prevent cravings, which is really nice. They help with those cravings, and they support energy. And so I take one in the morning, and I take one around 1 in the afternoon. My husband would take 2 at the same time. We don't use them regularly anymore. I don't have cravings, and my energy's great just from ketosis. But in the beginning, these are basically what saved us, and they were amazing. Keto Fizz are exogenous ketones, and this basically has some man-made ketones in it. So when you drink it, your body recognizes that, and it helps your ketone level stay. So I love people to use this if they're going to do a super heavy workout. Sometimes that can lower your ketones, but this will help you sustain your energy. And there's people who get like thrown out of ketosis, whether on purpose or they cheated big time. They can use these to get back into ketosis easier. So it's just an exogenous ketone is what it's called, and it tastes really good, and it's fizzy. Keto coffee for coffee drinkers, they love this. It would basically take place of a homemade bulletproof coffee, but I've never had it. I'm not a coffee drinker. The people who try it love it, and they're hooked. You can drink it cold, you can drink it hot, it's instant, you just stir it in. So I totally recommend trying that if you're a coffee drinker. And then some other things that we have here. We talked about the Sport and Go and the Daily Detox. The Kale Deep Detox is straight calcium bentonite clay. I use this every night before I go to bed. I drink like a little tablespoon or so of it. It stays in your digestive tract and pulls out any toxins that, unless you're eating everything organic, and even then you're still got toxins on it from just the environment we're in. It pulls those toxins out. I love that stuff. Mineral Garden is pretty fabulous, and I am so sorry I don't remember off the top of my head if it was 30 or 60 different minerals from different fruits and vegetables without all of the carbs. So this is a phenomenal way to get those minerals in your body. I love the taste. Some people mix it with fizz, some people mix it with water. I just drink it straight and follow it with a glass of water, but it's pretty fabulous. Okay, so a few tips with keto that I'm hoping will help you to have success. especially if you've been doing keto and you've plateaued, you may find some things in here you can change. So first of all, when we're talking about macronutrients, we are talking about carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And here's just a big group of whole foods that you may eat from. There's not a limited list. I even put the keto fuel on there because it's all whole food. And then from those whole foods, we start making foods, right? Like here's my soft pretzel bread recipe. From this one recipe, I make soft pretzels, breadsticks, sandwich rolls, pizza crust, dinner rolls, hamburger buns. It's the best. I will quadruple it at one time and make it all at once so they're all ready for me to go throughout the weeks. You can freeze it. It freezes great. This is a salad I love. It's got like candied nuts on it. A restaurant here serves it, and it was anywhere from 40 to 60 carbs per serving. Mine is anywhere from 2 to 6. So it's just changing simple ingredients. Brownie cheesecake is awesome. Like it's all that you don't have to get rid of foods you eat. You just have to make them with different ingredients. Chicken Madeira. Here's pumpkin roll, which is one of my all-time favorite desserts. Zoodles in place of noodles. 7-layer bars made with different ingredients. And this is my cookbook here. It's not a limited, like I have a lot more recipes that aren't in there. If this is a cookbook that you're interested in getting, you can either message me or you can message the person who sent you this video, and we will tell you how to get it. It's got the macros figured out in it. It's got bunches of great recipes. And my other recipes are all in my Facebook group, Living Your Keto Life. Okay, and there's this great BulaFIT planner. It's what I wished I'd had when I started, right? It has a tracking sheet in there for 90 days. Gives you all sorts of tips and tools and keto information, so I highly recommend that too. Okay, so just off of some of the stuff we've talked about, eggs are a keto-approved food, but if you eat eggs by themselves, they're not necessarily keto-friendly because they have more protein in them than they do fat. So like when I hear people say, oh, I had a hard-boiled egg for snack, I'm like, what did you have with it? Did you grab some macadamia nuts? Did you grab a fat bomb? Did you mix it with a little bit of mayo to add, make a deviled egg type thing? So you add fat. So like if I'm having eggs for breakfast, I'm going to cook them with butter or coconut oil. I'll probably have half of an avocado because I love avocados. Cheese is keto approved, but keep in mind it's adding flavor, not fat. Most cheeses are the same amount of fat as they are protein. So yes, you can have it, but don't look at it like you're adding a fat because it ups your protein at the same time. The exception to the rule is cream cheese, which is much higher in fat than it is protein. But just remember that. You want to balance that out and add some fat to whatever you're eating. Okay. This meat up on the left side, like people are like, I ate pepperoni, it's higher in fat. It is higher in fat than like a turkey sandwich meat, but it still has more protein than it does fat. So if you want to have like that sandwich meat and cheese roll up, avocado, of course, you could put a slice of cream cheese on it, dip it in ranch dressing, add mayonnaise, have a piece of dessert when you have lunch, whatever it is, a keto approved dessert that is. Make sure you're getting the fat at the same time because every time you eat, your body has this chemical reaction where we want it to either produce ketones or it's going to produce glucose. And it's not fun to go back and forth. It actually makes you feel not so great. The last thing I want to show you is you want to make sure that you're reading your labels. So this might take you a little time in the beginning, but once you know your brand, you're not going to have to spend the time on it. So if you look here, I have 3 different unsweetened cocoa powders. The top one is 2 net carbs per serving. The bottom left is 1 net carb. And the bottom right, I know it's hard to see, is actually -1 carb because it has more fiber in it than it does carbs. So just to give you an example, if I was making a recipe that had a cup of unsweetened cocoa powder in it, it's the difference of 32 net carbs to -16 net carbs. You're going to get the same brownie or the same cookie or whatever you're making, but your carbs can significantly go up. So the ingredients that I use are typically the best of the best in what they are. And so when you're looking at my macros, it's because I've used lower carb items. So just keep that in mind when you're shopping. Cream cheese is the same way. You want to get one that's full fat, not spreadable, because if it's spreadable, they've added milk in there, ups your carbs and lowers your fat. I like the bricks of cream cheese. They have the most fat and the least amount of carbs in them. Whipping cream is the same way. There's really no reason it needs to have carbohydrates in it. It's the cream. It's not the part that has the carbs. So as long as it's under 1 carb per serving, you're doing pretty good. But just read those labels. These are ingredients we use a lot of. Steak, both of these steaks are approved for keto. The sirloin is going to have less fat and more protein. The ribeye is going to have more fat and less protein. So you can do both, but just keep in mind that if you're eating one, you're going to have to add more fat to this. Like if I just had steak, it would work against me. And so I will eat like butter with each bite or have creamy dressing with my salad. Just find ways to add fat to your meal at the same time. So we've talked about a lot of things. There's different things you can do to get started with the BulaFIT program. You will contact the person who sent you this video, and they can show you different ways. Right now, I'm going to show you. These change all the time. Right now, this is what we have. So the BulaFIT products, you have all these kits over on the left, and there's 3 different ways to purchase them. The ones on the left can be purchased as a full retail customer, as a preferred customer, which is an Autoship, or as an ambassador. To become an ambassador, you pay $50. It's a yearly fee, and then $35 every year after that. And it's basically, I tell people to look at it as your Costco membership warehouse pricing. So you pay the $50 and then you get the same pricing that I get on everything. It's definitely the way to do it as far as saving money. If you look at these kits over here on the right, I love that middle kit. I love the one on the right too, so either one of them is great. But that middle one I love. It's just my favorite, and maybe I should advertise the bigger one, but you're already getting ambassador pricing. And you've got the cookbook to start with. You've got that guide. You have Owen's workout DVDs, the fuel, the burn, all of our GT core, and a mixer bottle. It's just a cool kit to start with. And you can get that for $299.95. And then next month you can come back and just replace the things that you need. But here's the really cool thing. That $50 Costco membership fee is cut in half when you buy either of those Paradise packs, the middle one or the one on the right. It would only be $25. So on the Paradise packs, you can get that fee cut in half. And then when you come back to purchase next month, when you need more product, you can actually already have the discount. So it's pretty great. Autoship is one thing. If you are interested in even getting free product and saving more money, when you sign up for an Autoship, and you can pick your products and you can customize them to what you want, and you can change that up to 48 hours before your Autoship comes out, they will give you free products based off of what you've purchased the next month, and you'll save an additional 5%. So that, I look at that as helping with the shipping costs. Here's where you can find me. On Facebook, Living Your Keto Life. Currently, right now on there, I teach cooking classes every week, almost every week, unless I'm traveling. I'm on Instagram, but not quite as much, at Living Our Keto Life Food. So feel free to come find me there, ask me questions. You can instant message me, and I would love to help you. But for right now, just get in touch with whoever sent you this video to teach you a little bit more about our BulaFIT system, and they will help you. We have a huge community and people who are just veterans at this program and would love to help you. But other than that, thank you so much for your time today, and I hope that this video was helpful to you and that it helps you get up and off and running. Anyway, I will talk to you later in the near future, and we will see you soon.